could never see tomorrow. I was never told about the sorrow. And how can you mend a broken heart? How can you stop the rain from falling down? Tell me, how can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go round?
Oh. Ah. Ah.
Have you washed your filthy fucking hands?
Twice. With your soap.
Put a crew together. We're going after him.
For a fucking book. It's not a fucking book. It's a weapon. A weapon aimed right at the hearts and minds of the weak and the desperate. It will give us control of it. If we want to rule more than one small fucking town, we have to have it. People will come from all over. They do exactly what I tell them if the words are from the book.
It's happened before. And it'll happen again. All we need is that book.
Genesis 27:41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the head apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, along with the sincere brethren that is also laboring in his work. And to the believers, to you I say Shalom, all right? So as you saw in the opening clip, all right, that movie, The Book of Eli, which was a very spiritual movie dealing with the two main characters of the Lord's movie, Jacob and Esau, okay? If you're spiritual, you can see that, in which Denzel would play the role of Jacob and the other guy would play the role of Esau, so-called white man, all right? And pretty much they were displaying what they have always displayed throughout the scriptures, okay? This goes all the way back to Genesis, okay? Jacob and Esau, the so-called white man and so-called blacks, Latinos, and natives, who come from these two seed lines, okay? And they have always had their friction against each other because of the blessing that was given unto Jacob by the Heavenly Father, okay? Because the Most High chose Jacob instead of Esau. And the elites of the nation of Esau dealing with the tie-backing families. The elites understand that the blessing was given to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. And so what they have been doing, of course, is oppressing Jacob, all right, keeping them at the bottom so they can somehow try to get that birthright back. And that's why you see the so-called blacks, Latinos, and natives catching so much hell, is because they want that birthright that was given to Jacob, because they feel like they should have had the birthright. But Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, so he really can't blame anyone but himself. Yeah, Jacob supplanted him, but he sold his birthright, and he acting like a child, you know. And you know, the blessing comes with you know, many perks. And the main one is rulership, and on top of that, immortality, in which the so-called white man has tried so hard unto this day to achieve immortality, all right, through his science and his witchcraft. But that's to no avail, okay? So let's go to Genesis 27 and 35. Let me go up a little bit. Genesis 27 and 27 and 34. It says, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing. Because Jacob supplanted his brother. He got Esau to sell his birthright. Okay? It says, and he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he taketh away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. Damn, I have made him thy Lord. So Jacob was going to be the Lord over Esau. Okay? And all his brethren have I given to him for service, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And you know, this is look, man. Secondary 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it to follow. All right, that's what we at. The so-called white man has rulership, and he does not want to give it over to Jacob, because he does not want to be under the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and natives. All right. So it says, behold, I have made him thy Lord. So Jacob is going to be Lord over Esau. And there's no coincidence that this guy right here, this fucking devil right here, Jacob Rothschild, it's no coincidence that he named himself Jacob, Lord Jacob, because he wants to be Jacob. Okay. That's why it says in Genesis, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing. You see, this dude know that. This ugly motherfucker know that shit. You know, so I can excuse my language. I'm just having a little fun, but he know that. Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, the so-called white man, and his seed line, okay, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. This dude sold his birthright, which came with rulership and immortality, for a piece of meat. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Damn. That's a tough one to swallow right there, boy. And man was made for immortality, man. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 23, for the Most High created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. It is not reserved for just any old man, all right? It's only reserved for the seed of Jacob, all right? That's the blessing that was given unto Jacob. And to prove that, we'll go to Romans 9 chapter 3rd verse. For I could wish that myself were accursed. And this is Apostle Paul speaking, all right, to the scattered Israelites that were in Rome, all right, who were called Gentiles at the time, who were being grafted back in. It says, for I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, for my brethren, for my kinsmen, according to the flesh, okay, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of the Most High, and the promises, all that went to Israel, the glory, and all of that. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came. He came for his brethren in the flesh, who is over all, Yahweh blessed forever. Amen. All right. Not as though the word of the Most High have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And what seed was that? It was the seed of Jacob. It was the seed of Jacob. Romans 9 and 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. The Most High loves Jacob and he hates Esau. All right, we know that. So Israel, Jacob, okay, in which Jacob's name was changed to Israel, he's the only one that can obtain the glory of the Most High. Isaiah 42 and 8, I am the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua. That is my name, and my glory will I not give to another nation, neither my praise to graven images, false gods. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Behold, it says, before they spring forth, I tell you of them. All right. Sing unto the Lord a new song, and new songs is new gospel, and his praise from the end of the earth. Either go down to the sea, and all that is therein, the isles and the inhabitants thereof. All right. And Esau, being the devil that he is, has always conspired to cut us off and being a nation from receiving that blessing. And this goes straight into it. It says Psalms 83:1, keep not thou silence, O the Most High. Hold not that peace, and be not still, O the Most High. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And that's why they call it the serpent. Because they crafty, all right? And they wise and crafty in a deceitful manner. Crafty counsel against thy people, Negroes, Latinos, and natives, who are the Israelites, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. All right, so they wanted to cut us off from being a nation, so that we would no longer call ourselves Israel. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. All right, the tabernacles of Edom, that's what we're focusing on, and also these other groups. All right. These other nationalities that had us in the captivity, but mainly Esau, the so-called white man. All right, Edom is Esau. And how did they conspire to cut you off? This happened all the way back in the time of the Greeks, all right, in the time of the Romans, and it happened again during the Renaissance. It says not long. 2nd Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 1. It says not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of the Most High, and to pollute also the temple of Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympius, and that in garrison of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. Now I want to skip down. Matter of fact, I just read the whole thing. Verse 3. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar was also filled with profane things which the law forbidden. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew, because the Israelites were conquered during this time, all right? And, these people tried to cut us off from being a nation. They did away with the law and all of that. And it happened again during the Renaissance, all right, after the fall of Rome around 300-something AD, all the way up to 1453. It says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, because Satan is actually Esau, the adversary, okay, the adversary of Jacob, who was cast into his prison, meaning he was taken out of power for 1,000 years, all right. It says, but then after 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, meaning he was going to come back into power, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. Gog and Magog is the place over there in Russia, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. But the point is that, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. And that's where we at now. How did he do that? Well, if you look at the ancient pics, the ancient relics of the prophets, that's the one who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, which his name is Yahweh Shai, and the disciples, and the so-called black man, right? And so are these other paintings. All right, so this is called iconoclasm, when you go and you go and paint over images to make them fit your agenda. And this is what they did during the Renaissance period, when they after the Dark Ages, when they came to power. And the Bible goes into detail about that. This is that point when they went out to deceive the nations, and they painted over the images, and they created this shit. They created this guy. This ain't the Messiah. This is blasphemy. That's not the Messiah of the Bible. All right. First Maccabees 3:48, and this is what happened, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. They did that during the time of the Greeks, and they did it this time, all right, during the Renaissance. That's how these devils get down. It's all because of the blessing. Revelation 13:5, and there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, all right? He painted the Most High to be white, in which that's a curse to have lepers, all right, or white skin, in which the Most High in the Bible is described as being a so-called black man, all right? And to blaspheme his name is not God, his name is Yahweh. Read Proverbs 30:4, and then ask you what is his name and what is his son's name. His name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushua. And his tabernacle, the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and natives. He took away your heritage. Read Jeremiah 17:4, and it'll tell you. He says, and also Psalms 83, what we just read. And them that dwell in heaven, even the angels. All right, the angels are described as being terrible, dark black beings. They're not little naked white babies. And that's a blasphemy against the Most High, his people, and his angels. Verse 7, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints are the Israelites, and to overcome them. That's how he got here today. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. That's why Job 9:24 tells you the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judge thereof. If not he, then who is it? All right, it's a so-called white man that did that. So he has power over all kindreds, tongues, and nations, meaning that he is the one that's ruling this earth. It says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, his philosophies, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. All right, so pretty much what this man pushes in the earth is complete lawlessness. All right, the Most High has 613 laws that you are supposed to keep, all right, in order for you to receive a good and happy life, okay? But he has went totally against that and made up his own laws, which is completely contrary to the Most High, and it's blasphemy against his word, all right? And you got to pay for that, okay? So if you have not repented, whatever you're doing in this world, everything was set up by the so-called white man, the philosophies, the doctrines. Everything was pretty much set up by him, all right, governed by him. And if you're not repenting and turning back to Yahweh and Yahushua and abiding by the laws that are written in this Bible, then you worshiping him. That's why it says that and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, all right, his philosophies. Daniel 12:4, it says, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be decreased. And that's what we at now. This book had a seal on it unto the end. So Daniel was told to shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Now, how would it be increased? Well, by the way of the internet. All right. And that's where we at now. That's how we're able to reveal who this man is according to the scriptures. By the way of the internet. 2 Thessalonians 2:8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, who is Esau, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, the words in his book being taught by the prophets, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Right? So he had to be revealed before he can be destroyed. And he's been running from his condemnation for centuries. Right, hiding himself according to who he is. So the Bible, that's why he had to put himself up as being the people of the Most High, to deceive the world, to hide himself. All right, but now he been caught. The Lord's gonna come back and he's gonna destroy him. All right. And before you come to this truth, this is how you feel. Psalms 73:20. As a dream when one awaketh, so, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. And that's what happens once you wake up to this truth. It's going to be like a dream you will live. And then you're going to despise their image. Everything that they have set up was built on wickedness and in lies. It says, thus my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my rein. So foolish was I, and ignorant. I was as a beast before thee. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. All right, so that's where we at. We're trying to get the glory, the immortality, the rulership. Ultimately, we want to get saved. You know, we want to be saved from this judgment day of the Esau, in which America is going to be completely destroyed by thermonuclear fire. Psalms 105:5. Remember his marvelous works that he have done, his wonders and his judgments of his mouth. O ye seed of Abraham his servant, ye children of Jacob his chosen. He is the Lord our power, his judgments are in all the earth. Ye have remembered his covenant forever. Forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, way back in Deuteronomy, which covenant he made with Abraham, and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. And you can't get around it. The Lord deals with Jacob, and he doesn't deal with Esau. 2nd Ezra 7:43. But the day of doom, right, judgment day, shall be the end of this time. What time? The end of Esau's time. 2nd Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of the follower. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. And that's what we're trying to obtain, that immortality. You know, we want to be delivered first of all, then after that we're going to receive immortality, Lord willing. You know, and this whole Bible is dealing with Judgment Day, leading up to Judgment Day, the destruction of America, and us being changed and receiving those glorious bodies, and then you know, living out the rest of our existence in peace and getting out of this hellhole. All right. Philippians 3:21. Who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able to subdue all things unto himself? They were asking the same thing. All right. 1 Corinthians 15:49. And as we have borne the image of the earthly, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High. All right. Neither does corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of the sin is the law. But thanks be to the Most High, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, because he was a physical sacrifice and, on that cross, who kept all the laws, and he was going to present the elect of the nation of Israel righteous in the eyes of the Most High. And we're going to receive those bodies through Yahushua, Lord willing. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. All right. Revelations 2:25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And that's this gospel, this word of truth, which is able to save your soul. All right. It says, and he that overcometh and keep my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. And he that hath an ear, and let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. All right. And this is talking to the elect. All right. The elect, the 144,000 elect. And what are we going to do with those new bodies? Well, here we go. All right. And having been a little chastised thereby, they shall be, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For the Most High approved them, and found them worthy for himself, As gold in the furnace have he tried them, and received them as burnt offerings. And in the time of their visitation they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and the Lord shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide in him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. Alright, so when we get those bodies and we set things in order, we're going to run to and fro, alright, like sparks among the stubble, okay? That's going to be like lightning speed. We're going to be able to fly, we're going to be able to travel, to see different planets, we're going to be able to, anything that you can think in your mind, you're going to be able to manifest, alright? Manipulate the elements, create things, probably create planets. You know, there's no limits with the Most High, so, you know, he's going to give us that glory, Lord willing. He gave to Yahweh Shai, and he said he went to prepare a place for us. And so, you know, we're going to be doing the same things that he's doing, Lord willing, you know. Deuteronomy 32:30, how should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except that rocket sold them, and the Lord has shut them up. And this is during the time when the men were mortals. All right, the Lord would make one of them chase 1,000 men, and two put 10,000 to flight. And that's what one mortal man like you and I. All right. How much more when we get those bodies, those new uncorruptible bodies. All right. And once we get those powers, this is what the Lord's going to do. Ezekiel 25:14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to mine fury, and they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And you know, and Esau understands this. Esau understands this very well. And so, you know, he going to do whatever he can to keep from going into captivity. And that's why Revelation 12:12 tells you that he's going to come down with great wrath, because you know he had but a short time. Revelation 13:10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Esau led Jacob into captivity, right? Negroes, Latinos, and natives. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. And that's complete balance of the Most High. The Lord is not an off balance, you know. Incomplete balance is an abomination unto the Most High. And so as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. So whatever Esau did unto us, we're going to return that favor back unto him. And that's going to be in the kingdom of Jacob. And he don't want to see that shit. And so, you know, we in that time where the Lord's going to judge Esau. He's going to establish righteousness in the earth. And everything's going to go back to the Garden of Eden, you know. Lord willing, to be soon. So, you know, Lord willing, it was edifying. And Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, Bashim Al Krokadash, Shalom.